I'm trying to get this thing.
You're live.
What is this? Oh, it's just a little point.
Yeah, we're live.
I know. I'm waiting for it to go. Is it going?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, private group. Give me just a second. I'm trying to log into my Facebook page. There we go. It just takes it a second. So welcome, welcome. Make sure everybody's here. No, I don't want to start casting. Okay. So today we're doing a custom order. Hi, Arvina. I thought I'd show you guys how I'm gonna put this concept together. I have an idea, but I haven't committed to everything yet. So I've pulled all the colors. There are two different sizes of signs. It's an 8-inch and a 12-inch. I think I'm gonna end up using the 8-inch. How it's going to go, I don't know. We're just gonna kind of build it as it goes and start from there. So I have my 18-inch wire wreath form from Dollar Tree, all wired up. Yes, I color coordinated this to match the sign. So the colors on this are like a hot pink, the Alice blue, white, and black. I didn't want to introduce black into the pipe cleaners because we're going to go in and lay in a poof base, which we haven't done for a while. So I have this 21-inch. It's a thinner. So as you see when you pull it up, it's got an iridescent foil in it. The blue is a metallic turquoise, and then it's just a regular white. So we're gonna poof that and lay in our base. So having this laid out like this will still work for the poof base. This particular type of Deco mesh came from Craft Outlet. So I'm gonna go ahead and just drop this down so it's off my workspace. And the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna gather your Deco mesh all together. And I am going to secure this under one of my zip ties to the middle. So technically that would be like a starting point. I think I'm gonna do it under the blue. So I'm gonna go in between the second and third of my wire wreath form. I'm going to take a zip tie. I'm going to go right up through the pipe cleaner. I'm going to zip tie this to one of the wire frames, not both. If you did it to both, it would just slip out between them. Gonna make sure that that's on there really nice and tight. Go ahead and trim that up. We'll trim all this up because it's kind of hairy. Hairy. There we go. Hold on just one second. I just didn't want that winding up on the floor. Okay, so flipping this over, I am going to do 10-inch poofs. So the first thing I need to do, because I do the inside or the inner ring first. So I'm going to take all the outside pipe cleaners and lay them down. And remember, in order to do a really nice poof, you need your poof sizes all the same size. So I'm doing 10 inches, even though it's inside. There's some people who do 8 on the inside and then 10 to the outside. It's not a hard, steadfast rule. It's designer's choice. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it like that. Measure out another 10. I always put my hands underneath just to kind of get everything situated. Lay this back to the inside. Do about 3 twists just to make sure it's not going to come off. Now on this particular type of design, just because some of the elements that I'm using in the design are copyrighted, you would not be able to list this on your website, nor would you be able to list it on your Etsy shop. And I know that people will do this anyway, that people have tons of copyrighted items on Etsy already. However,
Right. You can't say it's a custom order though, right?
You can say it's a custom order, but you still cannot advertise.
That's for sale.
Right. You can just, like, what I have been doing all day is, look, these are the elements that I'm putting together on a custom order I'm making tonight. And that's it. Generally, if people are interested, they will reach out to you. You don't have to go soliciting to try to find someone who will let you make them an Alice in Wonderland wreath or anything else. So anything copyrighted, trademarked, anything along those lines, sports teams, college teams, should not be in your shop.
David said, love the poof. Lay said, how do you decide what method to use for the design?
This one was all based color, right? I knew I wanted it to be a blue and white deco mesh, a light blue. Like, this reminds me of Alice's dress. So I knew I had a roll of 21 inch. A bubble wouldn't have worked for this design. I didn't really want to get into the curl and weave because then you have to incorporate 2 different colors. So I just thought, you know what? We haven't done a poof. This is going to have lots of different elements in it. It's going to have florals. It's going to have a plush Cheshire Cat in here. What else am I sticking in that? The sign. Just some fun elements to make this very Alice in Wonder.
Like?
Yeah, Alice in Wonderland like. Right. Because even the sign does not say anything. It just simply has elements that people would automatically assume belong to, you know, Alice in Wonderland. So I needed something that I could basically pop a little Cheshire cat head in here, and then everything else would be like the background for this. So I have finished up my inside 6. So now I'm going to jump to the bottom, and logically it seems like I would go from here to here, but I'm not. I'm going to go from here to here because this would just be like a 4-inch poof, which is kind of, it's like not enough use of the mesh. So I go down and over, again, making sure my mesh is not all like rolled up under itself. So I'm always, before I get ready to get the next poof going, I make sure that the deco mesh isn't folded, it's not rolled. So, and I want to make sure this doesn't get stuck so that the last one that I get to, see, you can take these and push them to the inside if you need to. You just kind of tuck them down so you can work the outside. But consistency is what's going to make it turn out really super good. So the poof has some disadvantages in the fact that because it sits up so high and you have to go down to get to the pipe cleaners, your ribbons and embellishments are going to really have to kind of come way out in order to be seen. It's not like a ruffle where we can just lay it down and everything just kind of floats on top. So I'm going to go ahead and grab it here. And I really try to push my mesh into the frame so that I can really take advantage of the full length of my pipe cleaner. And then I'm pulling my pipe cleaners out so that I can find them when I need to utilize them again. Anna, the cat, believe it or not, I think he either came from Disneyland or he came from the Disney store. I've had him for a while because I've had a, it's like a pink and a hot pink, similar to this deco mesh, and I was going to use him in that. But then I got this request and I was like, oh, I know exactly what I'll put inside of Alice in Wonderland wreath. You could have used on this, if you didn't have the blue and the white, you could have used just separate white and separate blue and then mixed them, like alternated the colors. I was fortunate because I knew I already had this color. I was actually going to use it on a baby shower for a baby boy wreath. And then this came up. You can sneeze, Steve.
It's okay.
It's like holding his sneeze. Okay, another 10. There we go. See, it's starting to fold right here on the end, so I really need to take it and just really stretch all that out. Whoa, wait a second. What happened? I'm missing a pipe cleaner right here. Mm-hmm. But where are my white pipe cleaners? I just had them. Are they on the table?
Yeah.
Oh, I am missing a pipe cleaner right here. I was like, it's not a good catch. It's the fact that I was like, hey, this is going a little too far than where it needs to go. So I totally forgot I went to go get more pipe cleaners to finish this and never did. Like wiring up this last one, I ran short of a color. So again, make sure you have all your pipe cleaners out. Everybody to the outside. Another 10. Just right here. What are you guys working on right now? Anything? You should be getting all of your patriotic in your shop. So whether you're doing rustic Americana, whether you're doing the traditional red, white, and blue, remember always count. We're in April, so May, June, July. You're making items for July right now. The fact that you have Memorial Day coming before that just helps solidify the early sale. So you would just tell people, hey, you know, now there's really no holiday in between now and the 4th of July. It's time to get your 4th of July wreath. And I just happen to have them in my shop. Let me help you. Let me feel that need for you. This one went inside.
I just finished another Mother's Day. Mother's sold on Friday.
Linda said I didn't get notified for the private live class. Not sure why. Make sure right now if you tap on the screen, Linda, there are 3 dots.
If you're using mobile.
Well, I'm using it on my tablet, so I can still see it. You hit the 3 dots, and then 1, 2, 3, the 4th option down says turn on live notifications. Get a notification when live. You need to physically turn that on. Otherwise, just hitting the like or follow or being a member of the group, I don't have anything that can notify you that we go live other than knowing we go live every Sunday at 3 Pacific, which is, taking this back a little bit, 5 o'clock Central and 6 o'clock Eastern time. We always go early.
Couple got some to make it patriotic wreaths. Delia said I sold my sunflower wreath, now I have to make another one. Colleen said made 2 crosses in a grapevine with coral and white this week. Awesome.
Good. So just remember, if something sells, make another one. Don't get stuck in the whole like, whew, I'm glad, you know, that sold, so I don't have to worry about being stuck with that. If it's something patriotic that sells now, make another. You know, if you can. And There's some of you that will make repeat designs. If that's the case, then make another of what just sold. Because if there was interest in one this early, that will be interested in more later. But your shop, you know, you have Memorial Day, you have 4th of July, you have Veterans Day, and that will take them all the way through summer. So a lot of people, like I know for me, if I was buying a wreath, I would definitely buy a patriotic wreath.
Emily says she's working on her Etsy shop, making Memorial Day and 4th of July. Also, it's Columbia Independence Day on July 20th, so she's doing some for her friends.
Nice.
Linda said not on my drop-down menu. There should be a way for you to find it that says turn on notifications.
So here's a question, Linda. What are you using to view this live right now? Are you on a desktop, a laptop, a tablet, a mobile device? We'll start there. Jenny, there was a notification that Linda put out today saying that she is shipping out the boxes, I think, starting tomorrow. So she apologizes for getting such a late start, but they ran out of the original mesh that we were going to use. So we had to come up with a backup. So we ended up going with, can't even remember, it's kind of like a burgundy mesh. So that's the reason why they got out so late, is sometimes the supply chain runs slow. And that's why we try to get everything done. We try to make sure we don't run into any issues. But iPad?
Yeah, so she should be able to get the 3 dots.
Yeah, so if you tap, if you're holding your iPad vertically and you tap on the video, you should get the 3 dots. Because I know sometimes that's how you hold it, right? Okay, so I've actually completed my poof. And this is a really nice poof. It doesn't seem like I would need to go back in and add any more. However, I don't have any more of this mesh. So I'm going to go in and just run this out, which means I'm going to take the middle and run a 3rd row in the middle. So I'm going to go from here to my white. So let me get the white up here. So it's just going to be a really small little jump. So let's see what 10 inches gives. I might have to take some out. Let me get this all unfurled. So we always want to jump up because we only have 6 jumps to the center if we're going all the way around the outside, which will use up our pipe cleaners on the inside. Okay, so there's my first jump up. And now I'm not going to jump right down to the first pipe cleaner that I come to. In each section, I'm going to jump to the one nearest the outside of each section. So I'm attempting to figure out where am I at. There's 10. I was trying to measure up under this to try to get my 10. So I'm going to go out here to this one. And we're just going to thicken this up and run out the mesh. Okay, and now I'm going to go back up to this one here. So see how this is starting to fold? I need to right side this. So you have to kind of get your poof right in your hand. It's a little stuck inside. Going right up to the top. I do, but I get hide all from Mevo camera.
Yeah, I see it in there, but it should also have something in there that says, you know, get notifications.
It's so funny. I'm like sitting here reading some of the closed captions that are so completely inaccurate. Okay.
Like I said, I did this method on wreath once. I really liked the way the wreath looked. Poof is a standard.
Yeah. So I'm not going to the first one. I'm going to go to the second one, which is over here. So we're going to poof it all the way over to this one. And I'm kind of looking at how high my poof is, because you don't want it higher than all the others. Okay, there's this, and then here's my blue. So sometimes I just make it easy by opening the blue. Gotta make sure we get this all unfolded. Go back up to the top. Trying to get my pipe cleaner under. It wants to go way under. So here's this. I'll make sure it's all poofied out. Pull my pipe cleaner back to the outside. Then we're going to go back down to the bottom. I just got to get it all resituated. There we go. I was like, I should use my arm. Sometimes it's beneficial for you to understand where 10 inches is. If you were to pull the Deco mesh from where you're holding it, where does it fall on your forearm? That is your measurement.
Is this Deco mesh, if you remember, from Craft Outlet?
Yes, it's from Craft Outlet. They might not have the exact one. I've had this for a little over 3 years, but you should be able to find something similar if you can't find exact. And that's the thing, right? We know that we can't guarantee anything. That's why I like not doing the same wreath, because I'll get people who go, I want it exactly like this. And I'm like, well, I can't get that mesh anymore. Or I might not be able to find the Cheshire Cat, or I might not be able to find this particular ribbon. So saying I can make it definitely very close, because I don't replicate my designs and I want you to have an original. I'd like to make one specially for you. Okay, I'm making sure I have like all my pipe cleaners, because I'm going to need to know where those are when we get ready to do our ribbons and embellishments. So now this one's going to go right here to this outside piece.
So the proof method is really cute. I got to learn this method. Well, it's you know, Kat's taught several videos on it, so you can go back and watch the back to basics proof method.
I was reading Lisa's. I haven't been on for a while and may not be for a lot longer. My husband's cancer is back and it's not
good at all.
Yeah, I was reading her original. I'm sorry, Lisa. I can't even imagine how hard or how devastating that must be. We've had so many people have to endure their own private battle with cancer. It's just so unfair. I can't wait for us to never, ever, ever again have to deal with cancer, because it won't be present in heaven. And it will never take another family member or a friend away from us again. Okay, we're going back up to the middle. So I'm jumping up here. So I'm just doing small little zigzags. So picking one of the outside frames, one and every single one of the middles, and just kind of jumping up. It's like kind of going back and forth, running out my mesh, thickening it up. And then as you can see, here's the end of my mesh. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this off the tube. There we go. So this is what I have to work with now. So here's my 10. So I'll have one more here to the outside. Okay, let me see what we can do. Let's go up, and I'm going to jump down here. And this is right where I started, which is perfect. This is right where I want to end things. Okay. Okay, up. Need to make sure we can find all the other ones. So this one, see, I can't really go up because this is where I have started. Here's my little tail. So I'm going to take this whole thing, I'm going to find the end, and I'm going to push it to the inside, right between that second and third rail. You want to make sure you bring it all up, so not any of that stuff remains on the other side. So here's literally what I have left of that 21-inch roll. So I'm going to take this. I'm now going to zip tie this down to just one of either the second or the third roll or rail. We'll go ahead and snip our pipe cleaner off. And then we'll go ahead and cut this off, which honestly, I could not make the rest of this work anywhere else. So here's my start and my finish, exactly right where they need to be. Let me just take this little piece and let me go toss this. And then now what you can see is you really and truly have a very, very full base to build on. Okay. All right, the next thing I want to do is I want to put the Cheshire Cat. And so this is, let's see, with his tail, he's 18 inches long, probably 9 inches wide. Look, he even has the official Disney thing on here. I don't think I want to keep it. But he does say authentic, genuine Disney. And in order to see, like, I can put his head in the center, but then his whole body, like, imagine I'm going to have this much in the wreath and then this much will be hanging out the back. Well, the easy way to remedy this is just to zip tie his cheek paws together and see how I've made him smaller. And she can still take him out of the wreath and use them for wherever else she needs to. I'm going to end up having to use 2 zip ties. So I need to make an extension. So I'm just putting one inside the other. We'll zip tie these 2 together. Because I was like, I could wire it. And I was like, no, why do I want to wire it? Because I try really hard not to ruin any of the plush that I put in. So I could have run wires inside, but I figured, hey, why don't I just take zip ties, which they can cut off, and we'll make him much smaller so he doesn't have quite a big backside sticking out. This way, if they want to put him on the door or hang him on the wall, they can do that.
Smart idea, babe.
I don't like permanent fixes. I mean, this is a temporary fix. So we just took, what was he? 18 inches before with his tail. He's about 12 inches now. See, we've made him kind of short. He's like short Cheshire Cat. So they can snip the zip ties off and he'll be just fine. So now I take his head and I can bring his head right up through the center of this wreath.
So cute.
He's still
Looks like he's popping out of a bathtub right now.
right? Yeah, he's in the bath water. So he does stick out still quite a bit, but like I said, I wanted to make him so that he's still part of an interactive piece of this wreath. Now, how are we going to attach him? I think what I'm going to do is, because I have my zip ties here, I'm just going to zip tie him to the frame. Yeah. So I'm going to do the same thing, because I don't have my 12-inch right here. So I'm going to take his feet, wrap them around my frame. So now he will stay in the wreath and not move. He might go side to side, but he's not going to go back and forth, and she can just snip him out. And then we'll do the same on the other side. This is what you call adaptation with Jesus's help.
You can do anything with zip ties.
Anything with zip ties, right? We'll even take his tail and probably tuck his tail down. Because I think it's his tail that's sticking out.
Maybe you can push it up to come out maybe the top of the wreath.
So we'll just make sure he's zip tied in, which will make sure we let her mom know that he is in.
And then, yeah, this is a special order. This is a custom order that Kat's doing for a friend.
See, so his tail will just hang flat. So now if we just tuck his tail in, voila. See, now he just stays where he's supposed to stay, which is perfect. So now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my ribbon tails to the outside, and I'm doing, oops, 2.5, the black polka dot, and the blue with the white. So let me show you the sign. So these are the signs. So obviously we're not going to be using this one. I had another sign created so that she could put this up on her bedroom wall. So we're going to use a smaller version, and it's just going to kind of tuck in somewhere. I think I'm envisioning it more along the lines of like in here somewhere. It'll just kind of tuck in. Once I pull it out and actually get it wired in, it's going to kind of face here. It'll have a bow and it'll have a bunch of other whimsical features, but here's where I got all my colors from. So I'm pulling this color in from the Cheshire Cat. It's also going to be in the one of the ribbons. Obviously the black and white, we're doing the Harlequin. The blue is still staying with Alice's dress color. So this is exactly where I pulled all my colors from. I didn't want to go red, white, and black. I wanted to stay within the fun colors because her mom really wants to see some floral incorporated. So we're going to be pulling hot pink florals and blues, and we'll be embellishing with that around the wreath. So the first thing I need to figure out is, let's get the outside 12 ribbons done. So these are going just on the 12 to the outside. These are cut to 14-inch pieces. So here's one, and then we'll do the blue.
And it's a 3 burst net for the sign. Yeah, but this was a custom order, so this was a
Yeah, I
Like
had to,
one-off.
but the nice thing was is I reached out to Linda and said, hey, I have a custom order. A customer wants an Alice in Wonderland. They're doing an Alice in Wonderland themed tea party. So what can you come up with? And she sent me, I think, 2 or 3 different designs. And I kind of wanted, I liked what she had done here. I wanted a clock instead of incorporating a clock into the actual wreath design, because it was all about the white rabbit. And then when she sent me the sign with the little girl and the Cheshire Cat, I was like, wow, I've never seen the Cheshire Cat, the blue and the green. But then I went and researched it, and technically the Cheshire Cat can change his color into whatever color he wants. And in the real life version, he does change to a blue and a green. So that's where that whole design came from. So I just kind of had to give her some design ideas. I was like, I sent her a couple ideas that were sent to me from her mom. And I said, what can we do? So this is where it pays to really know your sign vendors, because you never know when you'll be tasked with making a custom wreath. And not only that, there's been a couple occasions where you guys have struggled to find a sign, whether it's discontinued, whether it's out of stock. Sometimes you can find or have something created that is similar to. It will not be exact. But that's where you get the customers buy-in and say, hey, that sign has been discontinued. Are you open to something different? It definitely gives you that leg up on, you know, originality. Yes or no? See how this one you're fighting with the depth of the poofs. But this one I needed it to poof because I kind of knew where I was going with.
Audrey and Anna said she did a great job on the sign.
Didn't she? She really did. And the May design should be coming out here shortly. Again, the same thing. You know, in my mind, I have one concept. In Linda's mind, she has a different concept. So it's like we have to get together and go, okay, what can we do? So I wanted something from a beach perspective that had an awful lot of options for you to go with colors. Like this design, you could go red, white, and black. You could go with pinks and purples. You could go with blues and blacks, blues and whites. I want you guys to have a lot of choices and not be pretty limited to, you know. I think the original design was going to be just a sunset. It was like a sunset with a pelican, and I was like, I would struggle because you start to get into those tertiary colors, and it helps her to have something not so limited when she has to order all the ribbons and the Deco mesh. So that's where we're at with that. And yes, believe it or not, this one's going to have a bow. It's probably going to go up here on top of the Cheshire Cat, like up in this area. It has a lot going in it. Okay. Trying to work. Because we've added that third row too, we've made it a lot thicker. So this is why we needed to find our pipe cleaners. And I feel like I skipped one. No, I'm right. This goes here, this goes here. I'm like, wait a minute. We are right. let's get these done. So this will kind of help set color tone. See how far in this has to go? Way in there. It's like 5 inches deep. So this is why we needed to bring our ribbon out that 14-inch length. See, and we still have all these around the top. So we have lots of embellishments that are going in. Okay.
Oh, that's interesting. Robin asked, Kat, do you do classes teaching us how to do lives?
We probably will. I know that there's already, don't we have a tutorial on like behind the scenes of a Facebook Live? Because it's different. Everyone's going to set it up differently. Okay. Let's go ahead and make the bow. So I'm going to kind of take this and set this aside. All my colors, my tails. So we're going to do this hot pink. So if we look at our sign, here's the hot pink in here. I'm going to do this watercolor blue because it ties that purple and the blue together. We have the harlequin that goes around the outside. We have a metallic sparkly blue just to kind of subdue things a little bit. And then here's our polka dots. Black and blue. So I think it's going to go like, let's see. I'm thinking I'm going to do it like so. I'm kind of looking like, do I want to do this one to the outside? I think I like it a little bit more in here. Yes, I do. Because now that I'm thinking about it with the florals, I need to get the pink closer to the top. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our bow. So I'm going to do the same. We're going to dovetail, which is bring the wired edges together. You're going to take your scissors, and anywhere along that folded line to this point is going to determine the depth of your indent here on your V. So there's our V cut or dovetail. And I'm going to do 10 inches. And we're going to do the bow dabber, and we're going to twist that. And do another twist. And then I'm just going to measure this to about 5.5 inches. This is a pretty thick ribbon. This one came from 5th Street Studios. I don't like this. I already saw it. So here's a splice. You can, I feel it before I see it. I mean, it's a good comp, but I don't want that on that. I'll probably break that down and turn it into a tail and cut the ends off. But here we go again. You just never know, and it never fails. I don't know why bow manufacturers do that instead of just starting another row. So, okay, 5.5. Probably. But you know, we really pay, you know, top dollar for some of our ribbons. Some of our ribbons are like $11 or $12. And I hate to see that done. It just, to me, there's no value in that because that's just a complete waste. But it's not like the person who sells the ribbon's fault. It would be the person who sells the rolls. Like the person who manufactured and put that on the roll. So this one, what did I do with my pen? It's such a thick painted on design. Look at all these pieces. And that pin just came completely out.
It came off again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the pins with the heads on them, but some of the downside is that the heads have a tendency of coming off. So this one's going to be 9.5 inches. We're going to do the twist. And we're going to make 5-inch loops. So bring this into 5. So that's why I'm always really like feeling my ribbon, because you can feel it before you see it. And 9.5. Dovetail. So now we'll have to get a different pin head for this. So I throw this away so nobody ends up stepping on that somewhere as it rolls off. I think the blue, yes, this was also 5th Street Studios. So both of the 2.5 inch 5th Street Studios. This metallic glitter blue was from Shinoda. Yeah, I know, right, Gail? Okay, this one's going to be 9 inches. So this is kind of tying in some of the darker blues. And we're going to do a 4.5 inch loop here. So always measure. And there's 4.5. See, glitter never fully goes away. We use it throughout the year. And 4.5. And then we need 9. I like my V's pretty, or my dovetail, the depths of the little, in the cuts, I like them pretty deep. Okay. And now we'll do the Harlequin, which came from Craft Outlet. And this Harlequin has changed. The design is printed on that. It's like a polyester blend. So it's not satin, but it's still not my favorite. But sadly, this is the way a lot of the ribbon is going now. So 8.5 inch tail.
And so it's going to be 16 bow. I like how your bows look.
Oh, thanks. It's like you have the design concept in your head as you're pulling out all the colors. You're like, okay, these are all kind of going. Pulling out your florals, you're like, these are all mixing, but you never really know until you finish. The design that you finish with is never the design that you imagine. It's usually way better. So 4.5 inch loops on both of these. I didn't have to measure the other one because I could put my finger inside the loops and pull, because I had already measured the blue, the metallic-y glitter blue that was below that. So I just put my fingers in them and then just measured and made sure they were the same. You could technically measure it again. And now we're going to do this hot pink, which is a really nice, it's like a Dupont ribbon. It's very thick wire around the edges. And this one will be 8 inches long. So we're just popping this color occasionally. We're really focusing on the blues, the blacks, and whites. And this is going to be a 4-inch loop. So I need to bring this in. Make sure this stops at my 6. Flip flip it over. Make sure it's right at my 6. A little bit long. And then this comes out to 8 inches. And we'll dovetail this.
I think we want Harlequin ribbon on one side flipped over.
This one? Yeah, I'll flip it. It's that kind that doesn't really have life. Yeah. There you go. That's that whole, it's printed on that shiny, thin polyester. And then this watercolor came from Craft Outlet. This hot pink came from Shinoda.
The hot pink really makes everything pop.
Right? It pulls that purple right back in. It's the same color as the Cheshire Cat. And then we're going to finish off the watercolor with the 3.5-inch loop. It's a 7.5-inch tail. Make sure everything lines up. There's truly so many different things you could have done with this design. Like my brother was like, where are the teacups? I'm like, okay, we can't have everything. You have to stop at some point. Like I've done a teacup wreath before a long time ago. So this one's just florals, butterflies. It's more like when Alice was in the garden. Okay, so now we will go ahead and pick all this up. Really condense that down. And then we'll fluff it and go ahead and place it on our wreath. And then start to work on the details. There we go. Let's just tuck that away since I'm not going to need it anymore. Kind of stick that in there. Bring out our board. Let's put this up here. Okay. So we just are going to separate our colors. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that on the board. And then we're going to start at the bottom. And we're going to do loop and tail. Go to the other side. We're going to do tail and loop. So that, remember, the loops are across from each other and so are the tails. And then on here, we're going to go tail and loop. Other side, same thing. Once I just find my way into my loop, and it's like the ribbon stack wants to follow you. That way we're getting like the colors are not, like I don't have black polka dot with black polka dot. You have the blue now is in between. And then we're going to do the same thing on the top. We're just separating loops from tails. So tail and loop. Same thing for the black. We're just going to follow this around. So I'll make sure this gets untwisted. Go back over to the other side. Here's our loop. Here's our tail. Down to the pink. So we're following the blue.
Ravina, good question. She said, years ago I used rubber bands around ribbon rolls, now you use pins. Is there a reason?
I have found that some of the more thinner ribbon will kind of pucker and pleat. Creases. Yeah, it creases right where the rubber band is sitting. So now I just use the straight pins. And so now you just, this is where you can start doing your fluffing. So you're trying to pull all your colors around. Okay, these up. Make sure our tails are, they don't necessarily have to be where the tails are, but it just kind of helps if you can line everything up. So I want to open those bottom 2.5s. Okay. We got to put some life into it. Isn't that pretty? Super fun. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and pop this off. There we go. Not using our cutting board for later. Otherwise I would just leave it out. But since we're doing tropical, we're not doing ribbon. Okay, now this starts to get very heavy now. I've got to move his tail because his tail wants to stick up. So I'm looking at loops, where I want to put his loops. So I can do his loops. I can do a bow up here. I can do a bow to this side. I think whichever way I choose to do the bow, then the sign has to come in opposite. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna have to come in someplace like here. So I think for some reason I liked it here. I don't know why. I just did. In which case our sign's gonna have to come in at this weird angle. But I like the way it's sat. I know, but for some reason I liked it in this spot, because over here it's like the loop just kind of came up a little too high. So I think that's what I'm going to end up having it do. So with this, because this is such a deep wreath, more than likely it's going to be much easier to extend the length of your pipe cleaners, and that's just bring them in like so, which makes for a fun embellishment on the other side.
Yes, you probably can. She asked, could you pull his tail through the mesh and let it stick out somewhere?
I think it's actually fairly short tail. It's probably not the same size. It actually just wants to go around, and I'll show you when I flip him upside down to tie it. His tail's not very long. It's more curved. So it's not a straight tail. Okay. So we've got to get our loops. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove this one. This is where I want my bow to go. And I need to put my loops facing him. So I'm going to follow this down right to my frame. And this is how you cheat when you have, you know, a diameter that is so deep and you've got to get that bow in there. So let me make sure my ribbon tail kind of moved. And I just had it. There we go. I need to get it snug but not pulled down. So tight. So look, see, here's his tail. His tail wouldn't really come out that much. I mean, just barely at the very edge, not enough. It's easier to just kind of let it follow his feet around and then lay flat. See, his tail would it would be hidden under all the ribbon tails. I
think she meant just like between the one of the form, the rails between like the first row and second row.
It's too short. Yeah, it's not long enough. So I'm going to make the loops kind of follow around. And if we want to put the curl back into these ribbon, you're just going to run that through your fingers. I'm pretty picky about my loops. Lately, I haven't wanted to see them like fold or pucker or wrinkle. So that's where this is, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and pull my sign out. I'm gonna probably end up taking this pipe cleaner out because this is roughly where I want my sign to go. So I'm gonna remove this one. So it'll be right next to his head. And I'm just gonna place it for sign purposes only. It's gonna kind of tuck in right about here. So this one's a little bit different placement because we're not placing it flat. We're kind of placing it, I want it to kind of form around. I don't think I want it to go back too far. Nope, like it in here. So we're gonna have to secure it to the bottom of the frame. So it's gonna have to come down in here. So this is a first. I've never done it that way. I'm really hoping that the Deco mesh itself is gonna help prop this up. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop these in. I want it to kind of sit in an angle. Like so. So I'm gonna attach this with floral wire. And this is that 22 gauge floral wire. Okay. So right through our sign. I am just gonna wire this in. Make sure it's nice and tight. Do the same here. If I needed to create something up here to give me another anchor point, I could go ahead and use an adhesive tie. This is only going to be used for party decorations, so I don't have to worry about like it, you know, being in the sun and how long it's going to last in the sun. Now I'm working this down. So I'm going to grab these two first. And I'm going to go ahead and pull that down. We're going to get it nice and tight. And then I'm going to do it to the outside too. Go ahead and get this one through the mesh. I feel it.
We're talking about the tail. Things all. Could you cut his tail off and then insert it?
I want her to be able to take him out and play with him. I mean, she's only 9. Yeah. So, you know, once her parents are done with the whole, okay, this is the decoration for the front door, go ahead and take it all apart. You know, pull all the fun stuff out, take all the florals out. You know, we can go ahead and recreate the wreath a different way, but this is just for party decor. And go ahead and give this one a couple more twists. Ooh, twisting the wrong way. See, right now he's super easy to get out of the wreath. It's like clip 2 places and he's dislodged from the wreath, and then unzips the zip ties and he's good to go. I want to make sure that there's no, I had another one up here. I wanted to make sure there's no sharp edges. See, his tail's still doing the tail thing. Okay, so there is my sign. So sign's just there. Okay, now let's go ahead and finish embellishing. because I have lots of embellishments to add. We're going to go ahead and pop the colors of our ribbon. And get rid of all these. So I have all the ribbon tails cut. And what I originally have is we're going to put the harlequin on top of the harlequin right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do these really quick. These are 18-inch, 1.5" ribbon. So we're going to pop this on top. And we're going to go ahead and remove these pipe cleaners. Push those all the way to the back side and then open these up. So then we are popping more of that sign now around the black. So these are just going where the 6 black and white polka dots are. So I'm doing half ribbons here. And there really isn't much of a pipe cleaner left. I mean, we're talking 1 inch to 1.5 inches remains, because we've ran double the Deco mesh through.
Since it's now an Alice in Wonderland wreath, you can get away with a lot of different colors and
oh yeah,
textures.
you could have totally taken pipe cleaners and twisted the pipe cleaners and made little curlicues in black and white, and then just kind of have those little spiraling out. You could come back in and put all kinds of styrofoam balls in here and have them, you know, way out here. But
yeah.
Go ahead.
I went to ask Kat if she hangs the wreath, will the sign face down? You said you would check it with another commercial mount on the back.
Yeah, if I needed to, I could push the commercial mount and tie it back a little bit more. You're kind of limited because I don't want to see his tail still doing that tail thing. I wanted it to be very 3D-ish. So I probably will come back in and get it to where it lays more flat. And then that's where I would just come in with the commercial adhesive mount, and I'll show you how we would do that, and just pull it down. Weird. It's like you have an idea in mind, and so many wreath makers now just kind of take their signs and tuck them in the sides. They don't, you know, it's more like an afterthought. It's more like an embellishment than a statement piece anymore. Because I don't want the sign flat. I want it out to the side. So I'll have to think about that while I'm working on the others. It's going to be a full wreath.
Very full.
Yeah, you can already see how thick it is. And this is not getting shipped. I think we're hand delivering this, right?
Yeah.
We'll probably meet them for dinner. I'd be like, here you go. Have a nice day. It was fun making it. I always wanted to do one. So this works out perfect because we'll end up adding this, and then we can go ahead and pull the sign backwards a bit. So let me get all the embellishments in first, and then we can make that last little adjustment on the sign if we need to get it to lay a different, you know, lay down a little bit more, because I don't want it to lay too far. Okay, so there's that.
The local deliveries are the best.
Right. So we want it probably right about there. I just don't want a big huge gap in between here. So let's put the other 1.5 inch ribbon in. And then we're going to come in with some florals. So let me see what these are going to look like. They may not work the way I had wanted. And I think what I'll end up having to do is just alternate. Originally I wanted to do double bows with these. So let me see what it does, because the depth is so deep. Like the half bows are floating. I'm wondering what these will do. So I was going to do half and half. So let's see. I have this one right here. So let's see if the double bow will work, or will it be too hidden. So let me bring these. Let's get our tails situated. I think we might have to make bigger loops. Let me go ahead and remove this one. Flip it backwards. Okay, there's that one. This is the one that concerns me, is how deep this is, because we have all this on top. I'm going to go ahead and make another one just to see. This time I'll do a little bit bigger loop. So these are both cut to 15 inches. And I'm stopping them. These are probably about 2.5 inches. See, I'm like looking, I'm like, technically I can put these here, which is what I might end up doing, because I have a couple spots right here on the top. Let me look at this. I gotta get this one loop twisted. Let's snip this off. And then I have one here, and then one over here. So I think that's where I'm going to put these, and then I'll have to come back in and add, hold on just a second, because I need to get my florals in here as well. Let's end up putting these ones over here. This is the downside to a poof, is the depths of the volume you have to work with. You really are pretty deep in there. So I want to get these situated, and then we'll fix this one. Now on here, I'm going to go ahead and just do the same thing, the 18-inch half bows, but now I'm going to alternate the colors. So I'm going to start here with the blue. under. And we'll do purple. It's almost as though this one is almost pointless because it's so deep underneath here.
It still has too much in there.
It does. I'm like pulling the loops down and towards the front a little bit more. Around the outside. That one has it. We're back to our blues. Spin this around. There. It's kind of weird. I'm gonna put this one blue, purple. I think I changed my colors. You guys are so quiet.
Yeah, they're just watching.
I know this stuff to me, like adding these are like, okay, it's still part of the building process. It's like when you get to come in with the fun elements and add some fun. That's when I really enjoy the whole wreath making thing. I want to come back in with purple right here underneath because all this is all blue and black. So I really want to pop the purple down here under this one, which is way under the bow. Okay.
Yeah, that would be a local delivery because that thing looking from the side, that thing's probably 8 inches thick.
It's 8 inches tall, huh? Like from here to here. Oh my word. It is very tall. Just because you could probably take it and push it back down, but I'm like, I like it fluffy. Very fluffy. Okay.
Cherries are beautiful. Cherries are so cool looking.
Okay. Now let's come in and add some florals, some fun embellishments. So we need this is kind of like, I watched the movie today and I didn't get too far into it to try to figure out where everything happened.
Raymond said your voice is so relaxing.
Thank you. I'm in a relaxed mood today. So here's all my florals. I have some really pretty hydrangeas, like a lot of these that are going to come in. We have a little bit of smaller blue hydrangeas. I have a couple bigger pieces.
Kathy, good question. Kathy Reenerson adds, so if you did a craft fair, could you legally sell this wreath?
No. Honestly, no. You could not. You could have a picture of it in your portfolio and say, I've done these in the past. You know,
so if you're just at a craft show or a craft fair?
You cannot. No. You can't have any licensed merchandise. But that's why it's nice to have a portfolio of something you've done in the past. So I'm going to push these up a little bit further and cut the extra stem off. So what I want to do is kind of pop some of the hydrangea pinks in. We really want to add some florals. Where did I get these? I think I ordered these off of Amazon, believe it or not. And I was really impressed with the quality of Amazon's florals. So I'm just placing right now. So we're just going around the underside. Ooh, wow, that's way too long of a pick. But great question. Legally, if I'm going to give you the right answer, it would be no, you can't. But you can have a portfolio and say, hey, there are ones I can do, but they have to be custom orders. Because you'll get people say, oh, well, can you make me a Steelers wreath? The answer is yes. I just can't list it on Etsy. It has to be a custom order. Because I've got asked that question before. When you show them one type of wreath, they'll ask you if you can make others. And you go, of course I can, right? Of course you can. So let's do these. What do you guys think so far? Do you like that, Steve?
Yeah, floral looks really pretty.
Oops. Trying to get this one. Need them to come forward into the bows.
Probably need some of that oak those spot where it's all blue.
Where? Here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I will. I have more.
Melissa, the sign was a custom order sign from Three Birds Nest.
Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead and remove this pipe cleaner, because we can definitely add something fun here. Let's see. Do I want to put a big hydrangea here? We can look. Like so. What do you think, Steve?
Pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let me look at what I have here. These are kind of interesting. We might have to do a combo of like creating cat picks again, right? Pop the blues in. I'm just pulling them off of their little individual stems. That one was weird. It's all by itself. And all these ones are, the rest of these are kind of on ahead.
Valerie asked how much were the Amazon florals, if you can remember.
They weren't that expensive, believe it or not. $10 or $14, maybe. I'm thinking. I'd have to look those up. I'm not really thrilled with this one. This is like one of those things where you have to kind of create your own pick, because I want them up higher than where they're coming. So back to zippy zip ties, because I want them higher up on the stem. Okay, trust me, there's a point in all this. Oh, and then of course it comes out. Can we get you back in there? Yes, we can. And now I can zip tie them. So now I can physically see what it looks like when you create your own. I'm just looking for some of the darker pieces. I can hear the cat from here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I heard that. So I'm just making little clusters of blue pink, purple. I guess I probably could have got by with 4-inch zip ties here. That way I don't have to glue everything. I'm just kind of pushing them up where I need them to go. Ooh, let's push the blue over to the side. Like so. I know it almost seems like make sure those are up. Here's one. Where did I get these? These look like they came from Walmart, believe it or not.
The blue?
Mm-hmm. The blue hydrangeas came from Walmart. Yep.
Anna asked, what are you doing in the public group this evening? It's going to be tropical, right?
We are doing a tropical summer wreath with tropical florals. Why did Kat decide to do double florals in one evening? Wow, what a challenge, huh? Yeah, because there's no ribbon, there's no sign in the other. It's just a ton of different color tropicals blended together. So I'm just adding the blue.
Guy says, yeah, Walmart has some decent florals, I think.
They really do.
Sometimes so does Dollar Tree.
Yes, they do. Dollar Tree has been coming through in a very big way lately. Okay. I'm just taking all these and just adding just a touch of the blue. So I'm having to invent my own picks. So I'm just breaking down these pieces a little at a time so that I can take the blue florals. Pick another one off. Place these with these. Creating my own mini picks, my own mini bunches. I think I only have a couple more of these left. Would have been nice if somebody invented these all together. But then I don't have to worry about them falling it apart. Like as I'm gluing them, they'll just get glued in. Okay, this one, glue a couple more florals on it. Let's look for some really pretty blue ones, the lighter blue. That. See, this pick worked out good. I just have to get them to go where I want them to stay.
Like I said, unfortunately, her Walmart doesn't really carry many craft supplies. Your craft's challenged.
Ours does not either.
Craft supplies go in the town.
I honestly don't know how I came across those.
We just have one small little row, I think, in our Walmart that has some.
Yeah, it's not even a row. Let's just call it a section.
Yeah, section.
Section is more along the lines of what it is. Okay. So we have our blues, our blues, our blues. I think we need to add something here. We'll add some touches of blue there. So I have to break apart one more. You just take this thing apart. It'd be nice if it just all went together, but it doesn't. Let's see if we can take these off. It looks like I'll just make my own. We were making another pick. That's what we were doing. So I'm pushing them all the way up. I like these mini hydrangeas because I use them for everything. They are just the right amount, sometimes of size without going way too big.
I didn't even see, are you gluing them already?
No, I was placing them. Nope. Gluing them's easy. Creating the little stem bunches is tough.
Wow, I never would have thought to use zip ties. I would have used floral tape.
And I think you could use floral tape, but then it just becomes, see, and we're still not completely impacting our sign, but filling that space. This fills this space. Okay, I think we have one more over here that I will add a bigger hydrangea to. I'm looking, there's a couple little ones. This with my little ones that are left. So I have to make another little pick. Zip tie them, cut them, then we can glue them. Zip tying just ensures that the bundles that I'm making won't come apart, and then the glue will keep them in their spot. Just like so. Okay. I think, let me just glue these little bunches in really quick. So let me place these over here.
Question, do you want to add like some more glue to the other big one that's down the bottom?
Oh yeah, I will. Yes, I will. Let me get my glue gun primed. So, and I really have a lot of glue on there. So they're just kind of getting tucked in. So I'm really coating the entire bundle that I've created. Go ahead and get this one. And they're just kind of going in the little holes created where the pipe cleaners are. So because this wreath is so thick, I don't have to worry about them going through the other side and coming out the bottom, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me do these couple ones. I want my glue. And I have this on high again, so once it sets up, the temperatures won't be adjusted by the heat from, you know, the weather outside.
Kathy Nonproof said, so cute, love the Cheshire Cat.
Oh, thanks. And see, you can still pull him out, so there's nothing glued to him. And now we'll finish this bunch with the blue hydrangea. So funny, once I moved that one, you see what a vacancy it leaves. There's such a void there now.
I think he wants you to have everything in it that's exceeding what you thought it was going to look like.
What do you mean?
I think it's prettier than what you imagined it would be.
Yeah, because you're just like, you're pulling florals and laying them next to everything and going, okay, this all looks great, but I won't know until we get everything inside. Yep. So let's flip these down. Let's move this to the side. Still not done though. Okay, let me take all these little pieces I have so I don't get these confused with actual zip ties when I go to grab one. So a couple last minute little things, right? Because we still have to, I don't know how she'll do this. I'm sure it's going on the front door, is it not?
I don't know. Might be.
Might be. Might be. Depends. Okay, so I have some really pretty, colorful little hummingbirds. So I'm going to bring these in. And I am just going to have these little touches. Just like so. So I'm going to put my glue on here. So I can feed this right into my Deco mesh. Let's see. We need some butterflies. So I have some blue butterflies, so I'm going to go ahead and add him here. I'm just going to go ahead and add glue to my butterfly. And he's getting tagged to the leaf. Trying to make sure the threads are off. We have purple, which I think we're going to come back in. Where do you think, Steve? Purple, right in here on the bow. Look, that would have been so cute if we did it like that. But it just really, yeah, it would, but not really. Okay. Let's go ahead and add a butterfly up here. Hold on. I have all these like little whimsical things that need to go in here. So.
Thank you gals for all hanging on.
There we have, hold on a second. Let me get all the glue threads off. Go ahead and remove the wire. Really, I don't like the orange. The orange are not the right color. I like them, the ones that blend. Okay, let me get one more blendy thing. This was the thing we did not know how would go in here. So, let us see. Will he fit in here? Yes, I think he will. So I don't have a caterpillar, but I have a little inchworm. So I'm going to hot glue him around one of the poofs right in here. So, he doesn't really like, I don't have the caterpillar per se, like, you know, the caterpillar that was in the garden with the mushrooms and everything else. And then, let's see, I need a couple of these. Where am I going to place these? I'm going to tuck these in. So I have like these Queen of Hearts playing cards. So, because it's in the sign, I'm just adding these little touches here. So I'm going to let that one dry. And we're going to flip one up here. So I'm just taking the corners, gluing down the corners, and then kind of adding those to my embellishments. It has to be something that goes over the top a bit.
This one is so crazy bold. I love it.
Yeah, it kind of really is crazy bold, because I don't think we've literally done just about everything in here. So just those fun little whimsical sides of things, and then if we needed to, we can pull the sign back. Like, I love it like this. I think for me, I would kind of use this as a centerpiece to the table, and then I would lay out all the cupcakes and all the teacups and all the stuff in the front. But we'll take a picture of it, see what Grandma and Mom think of it, and then if they want the sign pulled back because this is going to go on the front door, then what we would do is from the back, right here on the sign, we would just add an adhesive tab, right? Glue it and then pull it back a little bit so it sits up higher. But then see what I'm saying? When I look at here, I see there's such a deep gap there. But yeah, I love it like that. It's super fun. It's whimsical, and it's ready to go. Huh?
You pull forward a bit?
Like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely do that. So put everything back in the bag, back in the box. What do you guys think? Super cute. For a 9-year-old, they're gonna have fun picking out all the fun stuff that they can find in there, from the hummingbirds to the butterflies to the caterpillars to the cards. You could even get really crazy, and we could even technically do this. If you go to Lowe's or Home Depot, they have the paintbrushes with the white brush, and you could paint it this color and kind of tuck those like a little paintbrush in there like they were painted. Yes. So I think we understand the elements better than a 9-year-old would, but for a 9-year-old, this is kind of like, oh my God, that's cool. It's pretty. So, all right, everyone. So I will see you in about an hour and 15 minutes where we're going to do a tropical grapevine for summer. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for joining me. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and post them. I will get to them. If I don't, I'm sure there's going to be people coming in and watching this on replay. So if you have any questions as well, you can either message me or you can just post them here and I will go through and answer whatever questions you have. Thanks for joining me, everyone. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye.